Long before satellites, sensors, or even seismic apps, different tribes scattered across the world sensed disaster coming and they survived. No alarms, no warning systems, just instinct, observation, and a kind of wisdom we've nearly lost. They didn't rely on tools, they relied on silence. On birds flying low, ants fleeing underground, strange patterns in animal cries. When dogs refused to sleep and goats stopped chewing their cud, they listened. Not with fear, but with respect. In remote valleys and jungle highlands, elders passed down these signs as sacred code. Cracks that appeared overnight on dry land, water trembling when the air was still, a shift in wind that made leaves whisper a strange new song. These weren't myths, superstitious tales to ward off evil spirits. They were patterns, recorded in memory, not books, gleaned from watching, waiting, and listening. Over generations, they learned to read the subtle language of nature, and when it spoke of danger, they paid heed. One tribe in the high Andes believed the ground breathed before it cracked open and belched up fiery demons. To escape the tremors that shook their villages, they slept light, wrapped in blankets, ready to flee. Barefoot, they could dash up the mountain paths faster than the earth could swallow their homes. In the fertile jungle highlands of Indonesia, Shmuns claimed to hear the groans of the earth from miles away, a deep vibrating sound that resonated in their bones. No one else could hear it, but weeks later, when the soil split and villages vanished, survivors credited the shaman's warnings. They too had packed their most vital belongings and moved to higher ground. They heeded the warnings of the earth and lived to tell the tale. But how did they know which signs meant danger and which didn't? How did they turn observations into life-saving knowledge? Well, the answer lies in something we've almost forgotten. It's easy to dismiss ancient beliefs as unscientific, but many tribal cultures developed sophisticated systems of observation, documentation, and analysis. For example, the Mayans kept meticulous records of celestial movements, eclipses, and other astronomical events. These detailed observations allowed them to create accurate calendars and predict significant events like the timing of planting seasons. Similarly, Polynesian navigators used stars, wave patterns, and even bird flight to navigate vast stretches of the Pacific Ocean. They developed intricate mental maps, passed down through oral traditions, which helped them find their way across some of the world's largest bodies of water. Even insects seemed to know when disaster struck. Termites and ants would burrow deeper into the earth. Hours before the ground shook, swallows and sparrows flew low to the ground, seeking shelter in burrows or crevices. Lizards vanished into hidden cracks and flocks of birds abandoned their usual roosting places. They climbed too branches too thin or too high for predators to reach. Nothing went unnoticed. Children were taught to notice, not to ignore the strangeness, the unfamiliar calls, or the unsettling tremors. And most importantly, not to explain away what felt strange. A goat that stops chewing its cud, a dog that won't settle, a bird that perches unnaturally close to the ground. These weren't quirky, meaningless acts. They were messages from living beings attuned to forces beyond human perception. Today, science confirms that subtle changes in electromagnetic fields, the release of gases like radon, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen, and alterations in animal behavior may indeed offer early clues of impending earthquakes. Studies have shown that in the days or even hours before an earthquake, certain animals exhibit unusual behaviors. Dogs, cats, and other mammals often become restless or agitated. Birds may be observed flying erratically or at unusually low altitudes. Fish in nearby ponds or rivers may leap out of the water or display abnormal swimming patterns. In some cases, insects such as ants have been known to abandon their nests or alter their activities. These reactions are thought to be triggered by sensitive biological mechanisms in the animals that detect minute changes in the Earth's magnetic field, seismic waves, or the release of gases like radon that emanate from the Earth's crust before an earthquake occurs. But how did all these cultures across the world come to understand these signs? All at once, separated by oceans and continents, each culture independently concluded that dogs don't suddenly whine in the middle of the night for no reason. Termites don't flee their mounds without cause, and mountain goats huddle together on peaks only when the ground itself seems about to crumble. This suggests that understanding these signs wasn't just about observing nature. It was also about recognizing the interconnectedness of all living things and the delicate balance of the ecosystem. Each observation fit into a larger narrative, a story of the Earth as a living being. Breathing, shifting, communicating in tremors, shadow, and pulse. They didn't need fancy instruments. They had ears attuned to the subtlest rumblings, eyes tracking every twist of leaf and limb. Their knowledge wasn't confined to books, it thrived in the marketplace, around campfires, on paths worn smooth by generations of footsteps. From parent to child, from neighbor to neighbor, the lessons of nature were woven into daily life. They weren't just about surviving one disaster. They were about thriving in a world where change was constant, where challenges shifted like sand beneath their feet. And yet, despite all this, in less than 2 centuries, we've managed to lose it all. We replaced listening with noise, watching with screens, patience with distraction. We've swapped fireside wisdom for instant answers, trading awareness for comfort. Yet the wisdom isn't gone, it waits, like fault lines beneath our feet, quiet, steady, and always closer than we think. When it comes to earthquakes, we've focused heavily on technology, on ever more sophisticated instruments and early warning systems. But as we stand amidst the ruins of recent earthquakes, it's worth asking, what if the solution has been with us all along? What if the secrets to surviving the next disaster lie buried beneath the noise of modern life? Some might argue that the complexity of modern life demands advanced technology, that we can't rely on folklore and intuition in a world that's constantly evolving. After all, we've built our modern society on the foundation of concrete and steel, glass and silicon. Our reliance on technology to solve problems has grown exponentially. Why should natural disasters be any different? Indeed, there's much to be said for this perspective. Our technological prowess has allowed us to reach new heights in various fields, from medicine to space exploration. We've harnessed technology to understand and predict earthquakes more accurately than ever before. Sophisticated monitoring systems, real-time data analysis, and advanced modeling techniques have enhanced our ability to anticipate and prepare for seismic events. Early warning systems, sirens, and public education campaigns have been instrumental in mitigating the impact of earthquakes in various regions. Take, for instance, the advancements in earthquake engineering. Modern buildings and infrastructure are designed to withstand earthquakes that might occur in different areas. These structures are equipped with shock absorbers, base isolation systems, and other technologies that help distribute the force of an earthquake over time, reducing the risk of catastrophic damage. Furthermore, technology plays a crucial role in search and rescue operations after an earthquake. Drones, sensors, and imaging devices aid in locating survivors trapped in the rubble, allowing for targeted and efficient rescue efforts. Moreover, in the aftermath of an earthquake, technology is essential for assessing the damage and coordinating relief operations. Satellites equipped with high-resolution imaging technology provide valuable aerial views of affected areas, helping authorities prioritize relief efforts based on the extent of the damage. But perhaps most importantly, technology allows us to collect and analyze vast amounts of data about earthquakes, giving us a deeper understanding of these complex geological phenomena. Through continuous monitoring and data analysis, scientists can identify patterns, predict potential seismic activity, and issue timely warnings to authorities and the public. However, as we continue to develop more advanced technology, it's essential to recognize the limitations of our instruments and the importance of integrating traditional knowledge with modern science. We must remember that technology, while powerful, cannot fully replace the insights gained through centuries of human experience and indigenous wisdom. In the quest to predict and prepare for earthquakes, striking a balance between technological advancement and traditional knowledge may hold the key to effective solutions. So maybe the fault isn't just in our stars or the rumbling earth, but also in our misplaced priorities. The wisdom to survive the next disaster may lie in listening not just to the latest scientific findings, but also to the whispers of nature that have guided humanity for millennia. We can learn from the past and build a future where technology and tradition work in harmony to keep us safe. After all, the earth speaks in many languages. Will we tune our ears to hear its every word? If you enjoyed this episode, we invite you to follow the Forgotten Path. Leave a like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep these stories alive. Dive into more tales of resilience and wisdom by clicking on these stories on the screen. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time and wisdom. Till next time, may your path be filled with insight and your future with hope.